Well, welcome back to the tiny house build. In our last video, Caden and I would have finished all the floor joists if we hadn't miscounted how many we needed. We came up 7 short, so we got up here and we finished up the floor joists so that we can get started today on the Advantech flooring. Well, hey there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peak's Peak. My name's Lucas.
And I'm Caden.
And you guessed it, there's Maple. She's excited to be out this early morning, probably a little more excited than we are. I'm excited to be working on the house, but I am not an early riser. I do not enjoy getting up early.
I was about to say.
I get up early every day for work, and so when I'm off, I have a hard time getting myself out of bed. But we did it this morning, and we have the 2x10s that we need to finish. So the first thing we're gonna do is cut a whole bunch of 15'9" floor joists. That way we're ready to finish off our floor. Then we get to put down some flooring. That's the top stack right there. And did you see what I got in the back of the side-by-side? Great big old tubes of subflooring adhesive. You gonna run the caulking gun? Don't tear up my tubes in. All right, well, we had torrential downpours last night, and of course it's been raining every day for weeks. So the whole job site's a muddy mess. And we decided if we're gonna be able to be at all efficient and get around and not kill ourselves, we've gotta have some decent places to walk to get up on this floor, and also we need some steps. So I'm going to bring in a little more dirt and level this out here so that we can stack some pallets here so that we have a nice, easy way to get on the floor. From this side, we put a pallet across the mud hole here so we can get into the crawl space. And we built a rickety set of concrete steps for the back. They work?
Yeah.
All right. So let's fire up the Bombalite and move just a little bit of dirt. All right, I think that's gonna make this a whole lot better. We've got pallet steps up onto it right here near where we're working. We can get to the crawl space without getting totally muddy. And if we need to, we can climb up from the backside. All the floor joists are in, and Billy Strings is playing in the background. Hang on, man. So now we've got to do blocking. So what I'm going to do is take a break, sit down with a little bit of water, and study my drawings. Then I will go down through here and I'll mark where I need blocks, and we'll kind of go from there. I'm trying to decide too, I initially thought I might put blocking every 4 feet for the seams in the flooring, but I bought that Advantech, and it's tongue and groove, so I think that's overkill. I don't think that's necessary. I'm trying to decide if I want to run a set of blocks down the very center of it. All right, so I studied my drawings, and I went through and I marked all the spaces where I need blocking. Now the reason for blocking is when you have windows and doors on a wall that's going to be supporting the roof, you want the weight of the roof transferred from studs directly into your foundation. So you make headers that go across the top of the doors or windows, and that supports the weight of the roof and transfers it out to the studs that are on the sides of the windows and doors. And from the sides of those windows and doors, those studs are going to have more pressure on them than the ones that are just spread out over every stud that's 16 inches apart. So what you want to do to transfer that weight directly to the foundation is you've got your wall sitting on this sill plate, but the sill plate's only 1.5 inches wide. So really only half of your bottom plate of your wall is sitting on the sill plate. So you put a block in here, and that way it fully supports the entire bottom plate of your wall, so that where you have more pressure right there, it won't cause your roof to sag over time or your walls to kind of bow in and out. So it's just all about transferring the support directly to the foundation. Okay guys, so you know I'm real and I share what I'm going through, whether it works or whether it doesn't, whether I know what I'm doing or not. And you know, this is the very first time I've built a house. I'm building my own and it will work out just fine. But I just had some ideas in my head about how I was going to approach this. And I've never been a part of actually framing up a floor before. But I thought, well, I'll put some blocking in there to stabilize the joists from side to side and all that. And tie everything together, give more nailers for the floor and all of that. But here's what I think I notice is, if you look down through here, you can see I'm running really good on these first 3, maybe 4, but it seems like it's starting to push out just a little bit because my blocks are probably a hair, a 32nd long, whatever. And over time that adds up to where, let's say I'm a 32nd long, then a 16th, then 3 32nds, and then an 1/8, and all of a sudden, by the time you get 4 or 5 joists deep, you're a 1/4 inch long and your joists are starting to bow out. That's not gonna work. So I'm not gonna go all the way down through here and put these blocks in yet. What I'm gonna do is start my flooring. And I think I'll go 2 rows, get it nailed in, and I'll center the joists based on the flooring. Get the spacing all locked in. And then I can put blocks in there if I decide it needs it once we get to that point. And I might put them in at the halfway point then. But I may decide I also don't need them either. We're going 3/4 inch Advantech, pretty tough stuff. And this is all part of the process. I think I'll leave those blocks in for now until I see whether they're gonna cause me any problems or not. And then we'll kind of go on from there. So, all right, I guess it's time to put some plywood on, bud. Liquid nails, subfloor glue, and a great big old caulking gun to squirt it with. And we're gonna put that down because they tell me that keeps floors from squeaking. We are also going to put that down because I have a whole brand new box of 2 3/8 inch pass load nails, and we're going to use nails on the floor mainly because I don't have a fancy screw gun and it would take us forever to run screws every 6 inches through 26 sheets of this flooring. And I want to use the nail gun. All right, so in figuring out where I'm supposed to start with this Advantech, what I realize is there's a little mark on here that says reference corner, and I'm sure that means this is the corner you're supposed to start with, which means I need to start right there, because your working edge should be the edge with the groove, because as you put these together, you're going to be hammering them together, and that means if you put a board on there, a block, you would dent this groove and you wouldn't be able to get the next board to take on it. So you're less apt to damage it as you kind of hammer them together if you're using the edge with the groove as your working edge. Here's why the blocking wasn't going to work right. Because you got to be able to move these to center. And you've got your reference marks on the plywood, which tell you where they need to be. Fire right in the center. That's like target practice.
Hey, dude, what you doing?
Laying down the last sheet on this run. What's up?
Nothing.
Running around with a camera strapped to your chest?
Yeah. We need to do this sometime when we're like fishing.
Yeah.
Like when we do a fishing challenge, like when I'm older and we can go different places.
Reach across here and pull on that one just a little.
Right there?
Yep.
Cool.
It's a little too far. Right there. Pull. A little more. Next one. Pull on it.
This one?
Yep. Pull. Right.
It's about to rain. Raindrops are falling on my head.
I think we just beat the rain. We better go sit on the cabin porch for a little bit and take a break. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna fish too. We'll take that catfish rod, an unhooked rod, and a bluegill rod.
You go fish in the rain?
Yeah?
Man, I'm gonna stay dry. All right, well, we got the tools picked up and we made it to the cabin porch just in time. I got the last sheet of plywood down for the front half. And I don't think this is gonna last too long. So hopefully, once this passes, we can go back out and get the back half done. That way I can start framing walls tomorrow. Caden was wanting to fish and he even carried fishing rods down there, but it started getting heavier and heavier. I'm like, yeah, I think you ought to get in here out of the rain. All right, we're back on the job site, and man, I mean, I thought it was a mess before this morning. Caden, walk through the woods.
I keep forgetting, man.
We've got a trail through the woods to the wood yard over there, and we have some stuff on chargers. He's supposed to go charge some camera batteries and then bring back a charged up speaker because we've run the other one down. Man, look at this mess. I don't even want to walk over there because I don't want to get all muddy. I mean, we're already all muddy, but.
Man, you guys should go get Farmer's Daughter.
Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it? That's like a coffee shake, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Man, it was good.
It's called, well, it's not really called.
Yours is a decaf, right?
Yeah, mine's a decaf.
Smoothie?
Espresso Oreo shake.
Ah, man. Well, it was good. I tried it. All right, so we've got our floor down. I hope our glue survived through it. So I've got to get another stack of plywood and get ready to start the next run. So we've got 2 more runs and I think they'll go pretty quickly. This Advantech, that's why we went this route, because it can handle some water on it until we get the roof on this, which is gonna take us a little while, probably 30 days or so. And in the meantime, it can handle getting wet a little bit. So it is what it is. It's gonna take us some time. We're building it in between working our day job and you know, using our days off and holidays and all that. So it's just gonna take some time, but we'll get there. Yes, we've got half the floor down and Caden has been a huge help today. He's doing a great job. He is running the glue gun right now. And his method is to leave about a 6-inch gap so he can put his hand down and reach out further. I don't think you need to reach out quite that far though. He's a little messy, but we're getting it done. What do you think, Rocky? You having a good time? To next stud, or next joist, and then on the left-hand half of it, okay? I think I'm gonna have to take over the gluing from here on out though, because I only have 2 tubes left, and that's the 3rd tube that you're on right there, so we don't have much to waste.
I didn't waste any there.
No, no. You didn't do too bad.
Hold up, I'm slipping. Jonathan, I'm slipping. Jonathan, I slipped.
All right, well, another another day, another storm. We dodged the first one.
It was so cold, bro.
It was really cold rain. We didn't miss the next one, but it didn't look too aggressive, and I didn't see any lightning or any warnings of lightning.
Not too aggressive. Not too aggressive.
It was wet. All right, so we are on our last run of Advantech, at least the last run that we're going to be able to do tonight. But I kind of made, I guess, a miscalculation, or I misunderstood that 4x8 does not mean 4 foot by 8 foot, apparently, when you're using Advantech, because they measure like 47.5 inches. And even leaving the little gaps like you're supposed to leave, spacing them out, and you can see, I even left, my gaps are a little bit fat. I left a little bit more gap than what they called for because I could tell I was going to come up short to this other side. We're dead on 16 foot wide, but we're going to come up 1.5 inches short when we get to the other side.
Yeah, but we got that inch kind of done.
So I did not know that, but I had a solution for it-ish. What I decided to do was just go ahead and put blocking in all the way down this wall. That way my full sheets end on that block. And then I'm gonna go buy some more Advantech, and I'm gonna run another 1.5 inch strip along the outside edge. And that way the bottom plate of the wall has 3/4 inch decking to sit on all the way, the whole width of the bottom plate. And I don't know if that's something I should have been aware of and accounted for. I probably, if I had laid them out and spaced them out, I could have figured out and maybe fudged it a little this way. But I really don't want to be 3/4 inch shy on each side, because that's that much of the bottom plate that's not sitting on the solid foundation. Probably wouldn't matter, probably be okay if I had known ahead of time. That's probably what I would have done. But since I didn't, here we are, and this is gonna work. So you live and learn. Part of why I went with the whole 16 foot and 52 foot dimensions was because in my mind, I thought that everything would work out, like joist spacing and everything would work out perfectly to where we wouldn't have much waste and all of that. It did work out great for joists. I mean, you know, you start your first joist at 15 1/4 inches so that your 16 inch centers space out correctly. And when we get to the other end, our last space is also 15 1/4 inches. So we had the perfect spacing on both ends so we could start from either end. I'm learning some things as we go. Guys, we have a floor. I really actually kind of thought this would go faster than it did. We put down 26 sheets. Now we had to do a whole bunch of blocking and stuff today. We had to put in 7 more floor joists, and so it wasn't just making a floor, but still.
We have a floor!
Yeah, Caden did a good job helping me, and now we get to start framing walls, which is gonna be fun because it doesn't take long framing walls before it starts to look like a real house, right? And the good news is it's gonna be like 90 degrees tomorrow. Yeah, I know, that's how I feel about it too. So guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure and subscribe, come back next time, and you'll see us framing some walls. And until next time,
get outside and enjoy God's creation. It is beautiful out here.
yes it is. Y'all have a good day.